dear learners, I welcome you all to the last module of this 2 credits research methodology course for tourism and hospitality management. We started with the introduction, basics of research. We have gone through the process of review of literature, qualitative and quantitative data analysis techniques, and at the end, we discussed how to structure your work and how to write your project or dissertation. Today, I divided this module into 2 segments. In the first segment, we will see referencing style, because referencing is a very important part of the manuscript. And at the last, I will briefly summarize what we discussed in last 8 weeks. So let us have the journey together. Referencing style that include in-text citations, styles followed for tables and diagrams, and making bibliography or end reference. Let us discuss in detail about referencing style. References are used in a text and we call this as in-text citation. In many books or especially scholarly articles, you may find within parenthesis the name and year of people are described. At the end, you will find the details of the text cited author. So this is a simple expression of what is referencing. Let me explain this in a detailed way. Citing authors in the text, this helps you to improve your content and it connect with the original idea, and it also give credit to the person who proposed the original idea. So citing authors in a manuscript is treated as very important for any scholarly articles. When you cite in the text, it is also important to show the details in the end part that we call end reference. That means the full details of the author and the work that you cited. It helps you to avoid plagiarism. It shows the interest that you developed in that area, what extent you searched the published information. Every institution and university, they have set their guidelines for referencing. So make sure that what referencing style is advised by your institution that you have to follow while you prepare your project or dissertation for PG or PhD level. What are the information sources? Look at the slide. You can find a number of sources of information. You use or you may present the findings or you may quote from any of this very frequently whenever you write manuscripts, or even in the research articles we can find such information is cited in almost every paragraph. So these information sources citing in the text we call in-text citation. What are the referencing tools? Softwares I mentioned here include Mendeley, EndNote, Zotero, and the websites like Cite This For Me or AI tools, Quillbot. These tools help you to do referencing. The manual process of referencing is very, very difficult. So almost all the researchers, they depend upon the softwares like Mendeley or EndNote. And these days, Quillbot is a very widely used tool among the researchers. The use of EndNote, Zotero or Mendeley are almost similar. I would like to present here how you can use EndNote. EndNote is a software designed by Clarivate. EndNote Online, this is a free tool that you can create a login account and access. But EndNote Desktop, that is a software which you have to download in your system, for which you have to pay. There is subscription charges. While you are using EndNote or Mendeley or Zotero, the process is almost same. What is the purpose? You need literature. These softwares help you to search the literature, and it will allow you to sometimes download if it is open access, and you can organize it in a proper manner in a folder. So when you organize these references, you can check whether these references are duplicated. I mean to say, multiple documents you have downloaded with the same author, so that you can remove it. And it also provides you a tool. This plugin, Cite While You Write, this tool you can add to your MS Word document. So whenever you write an article, if you use this tool, it will help you to place the citations in the text and organize your references and bibliography at the end. Some examples of referencing styles are given here: APA, MLA, Chicago, Harvard, IEEE. These are the referencing styles which we widely use when we do scholarly writing. Each style has its own specifications. This particular slide presents you the example how APA style is different from Chicago style. At a glance, you may not get the difference. You have to carefully go through the line where the details or references are mentioned. See, in APA style, they use parenthesis. Year is mentioned within the bracket, but in Chicago, it is not there. Whereas in Harvard, there is a different style. IEEE follow numbering system. In the text, you will find the numbers. At the end of the manuscript, you find the sequence in which the references appear in your text is numbered. So, if you have around 100 references, or imagine even 20 or 25 references, it is very difficult to organize when you write an article or when you do your dissertation. So, dear students, if you know how to use a reference management software, it will ease your work. It helps you a lot while you complete your work. It is not just in-text citation matters. Formatting the tables and figures play equally important role. I will show you how you have to present a table or a figure using APA format. Here you can see we have to mention the table number on every table. We have to give the title. We should not use any vertical lines in a table. And wherever required, necessary, then only use horizontal lines. And the numbers and the text appear in the table, it should be properly formatted. If you have any notes, it should be given in the bottom of the table. So let us see the next example which presents the formatting of table and figures. Look at this table. See, the table number is given, the title is in italics, and there are no vertical lines, and a note is given in the bottom. It is also important to show the table number in the manuscript. So, how you write? Table 1 shows instead of table 1 indicates. So, be careful when you format table or figure. It should be according to the guidelines presented by the university, according to the journal or the publication house which is specified the formatting guidelines. I present you an example of a figure. Figure number, the title, you can see the labels and legends. These are the admission strength. So, I have mentioned here the labels and legends. If you have any notes, it should be given below the figure. So, in some cases, you can find a general notes, and in some cases, like you have to use, currency conversion. I used alpha, A, or footnotes 1. When you use statistical test and presenting the result in terms of p-value, it is in italics. So, make sure that you have to go through the formatting guidelines carefully while you prepare your manuscript. So, when you order the authors, If you use a reference management software, it will automatically do it. But if you do it manually, it is very difficult, as I said earlier. You may not be knowing the sequence that one author published in 2016 and again 18. So we have to do the older one first. The software has the tool to arrange the references appropriately. You don't have to worry about it. If you use Cite This For Me or any website, that also will help you to order your references appropriately. Some examples I have mentioned here as well. So appendix is another part of the study. So in appendix, you have to present the details of the respondent, and if you have made questionnaires to collect data, these questionnaires and scales have to be given, and any equipments that you use, that also you have to give it in appendix. As a conclusion of this segment of this module, I have given you an outline on how to use referencing management in your project. We take it very lightly and we do not pay much attention when you write. But when you realize that there are mistakes happened at the time of reviewing your work, it would be very difficult to go back and correct it. I recommend you all to learn a reference management tool which can help you while making your references. In the next segment, we will quickly go through what we have studied in these last 8 weeks. In the week 1, we started with Introduction to Research. We have seen the research themes in tourism and hospitality. We also covered research process and research paradigm. And the later modules, we have seen research design and strategy and completed with ethical issues. In the week 2, we discussed qualitative research. We have seen different type of qualitative research starting from phenomenology, ethnography, grounded theories, case study, and we have covered the appropriate methods to conduct qualitative researches in the field of tourism and hospitality. At the end, we have discussed the cases with the examples and also seen how we can take up qualitative researches in tourism and hospitality management. In the third week, we discussed different types of quantitative research in tourism and hospitality management. I hope you remember, we discussed exploratory, explanatory, analytical, experimental, descriptive research methods with the help of examples. In the fourth week, we covered review of literature. And I hope you remember why we need to conduct a review of literature and how we can conduct the review of literature process, and different types that include systematic review of literature, meta-analysis, bibliometrics, and we also saw some examples in the form of articles published in research journals. And in the week 5, we saw the sampling process. We have seen the type of sampling process used for qualitative researchers and quantitative researchers. And at the end, we also saw how to conduct focus group discussions and conducting semi-structured interviews. And we concluded with the criteria for ensuring quality in qualitative research process. In the week 6, we discussed the qualitative research analysis process. In detail, we covered the coding process and interpretation of the findings. In the 7th week, we discussed various techniques used in quantitative data analysis, and we covered parametric test and non-parametric test in detail. The week 8 started with data reduction techniques like exploratory factor analysis, confirmatory factor analysis, and we have had a quick view of conducting structural equation modeling. At the end of the 8th week, we have seen how to improve the writing skills, and we discussed in length about writing of thesis, structuring your work, and ended with the referencing tool today. This 2 credit course is given you a brief idea about research methodology for tourism and hospitality management. I tried to cover the practical elements with the help of examples, and I am sure that these lectures will help you to get a better understanding of conducting researches in tourism and hospitality management. Students at advanced level will go through the content and realize many of the examples I quoted here is very relevant and highly useful. In the meantime, I also recommended to learn some softwares that started with review of literature, qualitative and quantitative data analysis, and at the end, reference management systems. You can also use AI tools for improving your writing skills. You can also check the mistakes that you commit while you write. So I am thankful to all of you for showing interest to join this course, and I hope I could share some insights that I gained through my experience through this course. I am highly thankful to Banaras Hindu University for giving me this opportunity to design a content for tourism and hospitality management students. As a residential university, it aligned with the interest of the students and reaching out to students across the country or maybe from different part of the world. And I am highly thankful to Professor Ashutosh Mohan, who is the coordinator of SWAYAM and NBTEL, taking care of implementation of this project in our university. I am also thankful to the team from IIT Kanpur, including Professor Lalti Datta and the crew working tirelessly for making it possible for the benefit of the students across the globe. Ms. Ishida Dwivedi, the teaching assistant who helped me from the very beginning of this work and supported me in designing the content and continuing with us for completing this course. Her support was commendable and timely. I am highly thankful to Ms. Ishida Dwivedi and Mr. Nishan, who is a research assistant with me in an IOE project. And his support was crucial at many times. At the end, I would like to thank each one of you once again for joining this course and helping me to improve this content. And when I offer this program next year, it would come out with the latest updates. With this, once again, I thank you all for your support and spirit of learning. Thank you.